It had to have been 2013. I was freshly out of college. Some friends of my roommates were going to this new bar. New to me, not them. They went out all the time to this bar specifically. We finished watching that episode of Entourage and it was time to go. They let me tag along since my girlfriend and I just broke up. My roommate said I needed to go out. I felt like the seventh wheel. I started drinking to relax, and I'm no slouch. I can handle my booze, but I was already drunk embarrassingly fast. They all made sincere fun of me. I was close to blacking out. Most of the people's names aren't important, but Marcus told me I should download Tinder. He was one of my roommate's friends. I met him a few times and took his advice. I did it, and I was off to the races. I quickly matched with this beautiful girl. 38, 22, 36.
I thought you were saying the age first.
She said her and her friend wanted to jack me off behind the bar. They had saw me earlier, but they both thought that I was just too cute to approach.
Of course.
Now, I never thought I was ugly, but I never had been told that I was too cute to approach. I look more like Greg Kinnear and less like George Clooney, after all. I just thought maybe this beautiful woman was just shy, like most beautiful women are.
Actually, yeah. The most beautiful are actually the shyest.
Even though I couldn't remember seeing her or her friend in the bar, around the bar, at any point that entire night, and neither could any of my roommate or his friends, I was still very hammered. So she said I must have been looking at other girls. She said she was jealous, and I thought that was cute. Even her friend was jealous. I told her I was hesitant to meet her out back, and how she should just come inside first so I can see her, but she said she couldn't because her friend had just broke her heel and she really needed my help now more than ever. So I drunkenly, without thinking, went outside to help. Remember, it was my roommate's friends, and he was even drunker than I was, so no one really noticed when I first got up. I almost snuck out unnoticed, but unfortunately, after a few steps, I tripped, knocking over 3 patrons and slamming really hard into this one waitress. I heard the screams as I left. And the sounds of broken glass crashing.
There was blood everywhere.
She fell and broke her ankle. She must have also slammed her head because I heard Marcus yelling how she was having a seizure. I thought it was more important to focus on the heel first and the 2 girls outside, and I thought that Marcus, my roommate, and the rest of the friends could attend to the waitress.
Of course.
I ran to the back of the building with gusto. No one was there. I walked around for 45 minutes behind that bar waiting for her.
The waitress having a seizure.
She said she was right there and she just didn't see me. I wanted to go back in, but I was so freaking horny. I kept messaging her and asking her if she knew which side of the building was actually the back. She finally responded, telling me that her and her friend had just walked away trying to get drugs and how she needed me to give her some money. Only $100, she said. Now, I have a good job and I make a lot of money, so I didn't think anything of it. She told me to ignore that her account was Lindsay, but her Venmo account was Jack Hornsby. She said Lindsay was actually her middle name. I was drunk and she was so pretty I obliged.
Oh, so it's Jack Lindsay Hornsby.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't used to getting picked up in a bar, so I thought maybe this is just how it goes. I Venmoed her the $100 to split the cost, and I swore I heard her phone vibrating. I looked around and almost panicked. It was so dark and eerie in that alley, but it must have been in my head, I thought. She then said her friend actually needed the money and that she didn't actually get my money, so I should just send her another $100, and that if she did get my money, she would send it back to me.
That's really fair, actually. This is a solid plan.
So then I was down $200.
But you're getting the 100 back.
But that's when I heard much more than just a vibration of a phone. This sound was much more clear. The second phone must have not been on silent or something because I heard a chime. I quickly looked over into the back, and that's when I heard even more movement from behind the boxes and someone fumbling to turn their phone off. I heard hushed voices that sounded masculine. I quickly turned around and I ran so fast all the way back to my apartment 17 miles away. It turns out that my roommate and my friends had already left after what happened with the waitress and were now waiting for me at home with a lot of questions. I told them what happened, and
Where the fuck did you go?
I told them what happened, and they all just laughed at me mercilessly. I just don't know what could have happened if that one phone was on silent too.
scary story, dude.
Not to mention,
How'd you get out of that?
I don't know, because now it's just time for the second story. Now this is the part where it says, you know, a new made-up fake-sounding name. Boom, boom, boom. And it's like Story 2, John Barry Rowland, Peter Mark Sean, Corey Smith, Christopher Ian Black, Leo Brent, Chaz Giardelli, Anna Tammy Sanders.
What are you doing?
Those are all the fake ass names that are. Every time there's a name, it's either anonymous or the most bullshit sounding name of all time. And it's like it's not even simple enough to go to like Mike Smith. It's like no. Peter Berg. It's like, oh yeah, Peter Berg sent this to you? Wow.
The last one was Mike White.
I know, Mike White. Yeah, Mike White's texting Mr. Nightmare. Dude, I don't know where I want to... First off, I can't even imagine a scenario, which is already shows how Mr. Nightmare is completely phony, all right? What shows it most of all is he has like 7 million subscribers, right? And you look at his videos, he's been posting for like 8 years. And those popular videos are from 8 years ago with like 10 million views. And now all of his new videos get like 1 million views. So clearly everyone's, you know, the jig is up, the news is out.
But we've been watching it all day, and it took us like 5 videos in to get to the 2000. Has he just stopped uploading? Is this, you know what I'm asking?
No.
Move on. It's not worth it. Don't worry about it. I didn't even ask a question.
But it's just, I don't know, they're fun to watch, the Mr. Nightmare videos, because for a second you get into the mix, because it's you know, the editor's doing their job. There's some scary little sounds in the background. You got the surround, you turn over your shoulder. You know, you're sitting in silence and it's a dark basement. You're watching a thing called 4 Scary Basement Stories while you're in a basement.
That one got to me. That
it's all scary.
Terrifying.
But the hard part about it, when you get over the fake name and the terrible editing and presentation and, you know, all that, the really hard part is that you can't tell in any of the 3 stories if the protagonist is a man or a woman.
It's always halfway through.
It's always halfway through. There's one vague.
Your entire perception of everything.
Exactly. You listen to every single story for like a solid 6 minutes, and then randomly they say one thing like, "That's when Brittany looked over at me and such a cute new haircut." And it's like, wait, why would a man? Wait, Brittany, these are girls the whole time.
It changes everything.
Out of nowhere, they throw some random curveball in where suddenly now you know it's either a guy or a girl. Either the whole entire story up to that point either was clearly in the opposite way or you didn't think about it at all.
It doesn't help that he does the same voice on every
Exactly. It doesn't help that it's a man talking the entire time. And then every once in a while he's supposed to be, you know, we're hearing a man talk, and then it says anonymous on the fake name. So I don't even get to see, like, oh, her name's Michelle. And then it's just a man's voice, but then he's saying, yeah, I was 11 years old, me and my 3 sisters. And it's like, okay, maybe he has brother. And it's like, yeah, it was an all woman's house. Like, oh, I didn't realize that because you said anonymous and you're a guy talking to me.
Dude, I'm sorry, that pulled.
Not to mention the fact that these videos, the only thing that's not terrifying in them, like the only part that's, you know, the reprieve from the scaries is when it randomly cuts for him to talk about fucking Scentbird. Scentbird? He's talking about Scentbird? You're making videos about fucking horror. How about what's that dumb thing Demi always promotes, that streaming service?
Wow, I'm so
Okay,
sorry.
this is great.
I'm so
I bet you
sorry.
need to answer one thing.
What the fuck is it called?
Okay.
Something with an S.
That's
like
Shudder.
Scary.
It's Shudder.
There,
It's Shudder.
see?
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
At the very least, why isn't he promoting Shudder or some true crime podcast network? You know, some stupid Kevin Connolly run podcast network. And instead of that, he's like, you guys want to have like shitty... And also, dude, you're buying cologne from someone you saw on YouTube talking about it.
Yeah, honestly, that's like the.
That's about as much of a loser as someone would actually have to be to then, you know, have a traumatic event happen in their life and to respond to it by sending a message to Mr. Nightmare to read on his shitty YouTube channel.
You're right, dude. He knows his audience perfectly.
What?
You said that buy some Scentbird would make you just
Oh
a
yeah, he
loser.
knows right here. He attracted such losers that
He
they're
knows his audience
obviously. Yeah, you're right.
perfectly.
Yeah, thankfully, you know, people who listen to this, they would never be caught dead using Scentbird because they'd be like, what kind of jerk off would push that? Who peddles that kind of shit? And then they hit unsubscribe. But thankfully, we don't promote that because we're not assholes like Mr. Nightmare.
It's just so weird. Before I tell you these 3 horrifying stories about how these people died tragically, you want to smell nice on your next date?
You guys like Opera GX? And not to mention, I mean, you know, it does feel a little weird calling someone an asshole when I'm saying Mr. and Mr. and Mr. and Mr. You know, I'm being formal but also attacking him.
You can be polite.
I guess. What?
You can be polite.
I guess.
You can be
Yeah, I guess
respectful.
you're right. But no, you know,
It's so funny when I talk. It just makes your brain.
yeah,
shut
whenever
down.
you contribute, I just don't know what to say anymore. But no, the random details of all the extra shit that's thrown in there are just so obnoxious, like how the names are fake and how they'll say those things where it's like the names of this group wasn't important, but you should know the one person, Denzel. You know, I always thought Denzel was the funniest guy I ever met. Me and my friends always say he should be a stand-up comedian. Anyway, so we're breaking into this abandoned high school, and it's like, who the hell talks that way? The amount of, you know, unnecessary information clogged into the arteries of these already, you know, weirdly niche ideas of 3 scary true pottery class stories, 3 scary true car wash stories, 3 disturbing true real estate listing stories, 3 terrifying, absolutely true, horrifying movie rental stories, 4 terrifying, crazy, bombastic advertising stories, and 3 scary true baking stories.
The baking one's probably the scariest.
Yeah, that's always scary. It's like, you know, the person says how like, I could have sworn the cinnamon was already out. But when I went to pee and I came back, the cinnamon was back in my spice rack. That's when I looked over and saw a 6'8" lumbering man with yellow eyes and a yellow smile staring at me with a blank face.
But I'm pretty brave, so
But
like,
I'm pretty
I took
brave.
it head on.
And I can take, you know, I'm not Braun Strowman, but I can throw a punch. I can take a few as well. You know, I did have a little bit of mixed martial arts of a background. I listened to the Joe Rogan Experience.
That's a good point.
And I've been doing a lot of kettlebell workouts. So I think I can handle this guy. And I quickly, you know, my adrenaline kicked in and did what it's supposed to do. And I attacked him with such might, I choked him out. And then I released his neck just a little bit to say, "Who are you?" And he was like, "I'm sorry, let me get out of here." I was like, "All right, get out of here." And I kicked him on the ass. And he ran out. I was like, "Yeah, that's right. You never come back here." And then I thought to call the cops, but I figured it's probably fine. He hasn't come back for a week, so...
I still get the goosebumps when I pass my open door.
Yeah, and now whenever my gate swings at night, I think, is he back?
Remember the one we listened to the other day where the guy was hitchhiking and he's like, and in that moment, I don't know, maybe somehow maybe I didn't respond the right way, and he sensed my maybe I got some pheromone, and he realized
Oh my God, yeah.
the
Dude,
killer
yeah.
inside of me.
Every once in a while, Mr. Nightmare, even though he clearly writes all of these himself since they're written the exact same way with the exact same delivery, the exact same weird,
verbiage.
the exact same rhetoric every time, the exact same random unnecessary details thrown in there.
You know that whole Ted Kaczynski thing when his brother was reading it?
Yeah.
Okay, hopefully this guy's gonna commit any
Dude,
actual
honestly,
murders,
I know, yeah,
because
because
we'll know who it is.
Mr. Nightmare's brother, Mr. Quality Dreams, would so quickly be like, dude, I know that's my brother. So Mr. Nightmare better not have any plans of, you know, taking down planes.
He always says things like, "But I think I'm pretty tough."
And then he's like, "That's the nightmare after all." That should be really sick if he pivoted his channel to being some like propagandist, like torturing shit, where like he has these weird, like creepy Saw-like videos, and he's like, "It's just the nightmare," and it's all the build up to get to a queue of following. That'd be pretty cool.
I think he's in the wrong market.
Do you think Mr. Nightmare is like some, you know, insomniac who just wants to sleep and can't, and he's just pacing around frantically in this weird in-between state, murmuring to himself at 3 a.m, like listing off random ideas of like these weird topics to talk about, and then one finally hits and he just kind of has this smile and just collapses to the floor and sleeps until he goes back to the next day of the grind?
He actually thinks he's a prophet, that he's just
Yeah,
hearing these stories from far beyond.
yeah. I was thinking it's either the first option, him being a prophet, that he maybe does sleep fine, but he goes into these weird, deep fever dreams and like these serious sweats and they just take over him. He wakes up screaming, or he wakes up and it's like a weird sleep paralysis thing where like, there's just all these, you know, probably all the victims looking over him.
That's
and they were like,
terrifying.
"Stop telling our stories. We gave you his permission." And like, you tricked us under the guise of it being a hotline for help, and you've been profiting off of all of our hardships. And also, I asked, you know, we're in a club, and I asked everyone on here who's been featured, and none of us ever once said we wanted to be anonymous. You're just literally stealing our glory. And also, when we send you our emails, they don't sound like that. Why do you Mr. Nightmare them so much? But they all sound the same. And the last
He's a writer,
option,
that's why.
he's like, "I have to tell a story." You know, he's like, he takes the Oliver Stone approach, where he's like, "It's better for the story if this happens." Yeah, but you wrote "true" in the title. Yeah, but it's a lot better if this happens. So,
It's true in essence.
and then the last option, I guess, which is the least fun, is that he actually wakes up like with a big smile on his face every day, and he's like, "Wow, this is great stuff." I know what I'm filming today. Just comes to me. He's like, "Dude, 3 terrifying occurrences while having pancakes."
Dude, it's chill. I'm having
Do you know
pancakes
how many
right
views
now.
it's gonna get? Dude, that's gonna get like at least 600,000 views.
See, and you think having it that specific is stupid, but really, now
No,
you're
but then every
interested.
once in a while, you're sitting in the basement, you see a video called 3 Terrifying Basement Stories, and you got goosebumps on the back of your arms
Dude, I've had goosebumps since we watched
the
that.
entire time.
I'm trying to play it off like I'm fucking tough right now, but I'm like this close to shitting my pants.
Yeah, man. Well, no, because it's a mutual feeling. It's pretty terrifying stuff. You're watching this, you're thinking, how is it possible that through hundreds of videos with multiple people per video. How do they all say, don't get me wrong,
I know. I hate that one the most.
I'm no slouch. I'm a pretty tall guy. They stared lifelessly. The adrenaline was doing its job.
Smiling,
I summoned the courage, smiled lifelessly, sat there motionless.
What was the first one you said?
Don't get me wrong.
Dude, don't get me wrong.
Every time it's like, don't get me wrong, I'm a pretty strong guy. I'm not a giant, but I can throw a punch. It's like, okay, awesome.
It always comes in the vein of like, I'm actually really cool. You should know how
Mr.
cool
Nightmare
I
is
am.
actually such a sociopath and a little fucking freak that he has. Not only does he take these people's, normal human messages they send him, he then, makes them humanoid, puts the Mr. Nightmare spin on them, messes them up, fudges the numbers, right? But on top of that, he makes them all seem like these weird little fucking losers who are like trying to get his approval. So he makes them all seem like these absolute weirdos.
Don't get me wrong, Mr. Nightmare. I'm actually like really tough.
I'm actually really cool, Mr. Nightmare.
This is just a moment of
this is a weird down moment. All right.
Please don't judge me on this.
I was taking the corner a little too fast here. This isn't a good representation of me.
I'm not even convinced that fucking Mr. Nightmare is real.
Right.
All the artwork's fucking scary AI.
It's all this
shit
weird.
now.
The AI stuff is actually what makes
Every
it
story
scariest.
sounds exactly the
It's
same.
so terrifying having him talk about this dilapidated house, and then you look at it and it's like, that's weird. Why is there like, why is the roof 10 times the size of the house? Why are the windows all on angles? Why is every mirror you're showing me a black cutout bar?
That one scares me the most.
The mirrors are a little
Blackbird
creepy.
thing's
That's
that
some
one
like,
freaks me out.
how's Annie?
Yeah.
How's Annie? It's a little fucked up, that stuff.
How's Annie?
Most importantly, though, the biggest question still is what kind. Who in their right mind would ever think something terrible happened to me? I should probably tell Mr. Nightmare about this.
You know, what'd be nuts. If something terrible happened right now and we wrote into Mr. Nightmare about this.
No, what I was thinking. See, in your scenario, we're telling the truth, and since he's already built an entire media empire of lying, I think we should just give him the same respect back.
Good point. Good point.
I was thinking that my end goal is more along the lines of like, what if we send in fake things, but it's some real like serious bullshit to the point where he's like, hold on, I'm getting a lot of subject lines all of a sudden about like scary Bic lighter stories, like these weird lighter stories, and I'm like, what's so scary about a lighter? And you click on it, and it's like there's like five different emails, 5 different times of the year, like spaced out apart from each other. 5 different people all saying like, don't get me wrong, I can afford to buy my own cigarettes, but I ran out, so I had to bum one off this guy, and he pulls out this big lighter. And I think if I do that just a little bit that specific enough, right? I give him 5 stories, and then he can cut it down to 3. He's like, all right, well, 2 of those suck, but these 3 were pretty good.
Yeah, true. And it has to be 3. That's how it works.
And again, different names, different emails. Make him think it's real. He'll take the 3 good ones, he'll upload it, and then we'll have Mr. Nightmare Part 2. We'll get free content back. We can make a whole episode saying this fucking idiot actually believed that 3 different people in the same year ran into a story and thought, oh my god, not only do 3 different people have a story that somehow involves a terrifying, scary Bic lighter, but all 3 of them thought, oh my god, I have to tell Mr. Nightmare. Because at this point, there's no way you can't tell me he's been doing this for 8 years and he hasn't somehow gained a gigantic ego thinking he's just like, oh my god, I'm so fucking worthy. They should tell me everything.
I was going to ask that. So do you think if you do the emails in his rhetoric, he's going to be suspicious? He's going to be like, wow.
He'll be like, he'll think it's working. I'm slowly, they're starting to think like me and they act like me. Yeah.
Fucking, I wanted to ask you a question. Fuck.
You're like, is Mr. Nightmare going to cover the Trump assassination attempt? Probably not. I don't think that's really his cup of tea.
Oh, no. Fuck, I wanted to mention, you said you were going to space out the emails. He's going to be like, for fucking March, he gets email for Bic lighter. He's like, oh, great. Got 1 Bic lighter.
Yeah, he's got, that's a great, he's like, hey, a Bic lighter would be a great topic, but
2 more, though.
It's only the one. He's like, well, hold on a second. Now it's June, and I have a second email that's from a different account that's also about Bic lighter. He's like, wow, hell, I've only had July. I have 3rd one in July.
Dude,
oh my god. Oh my god, it's perfect. It's only July 2nd, which means I can upload it for July 4th and talk about lighting sparklers as the opening.
That's genius. And then that'll make some really cool reference to how like you're outside in the sun and you get sweaty, so you need to get scentbird so you can smell.
Oh my
good.
god, it's all coming together.
I'm Mr. Nightmare, baby.
Yes, exactly. And that's how he makes the episode. And then again, we in turn we can make fun of him even more. And this time it's like it's much more personal because then right now he could hear this and think, all right, these guys don't know shit about shit. They don't know shit about fuck. They don't know fuck about shit. Fuck these guys. However, if we actually do infiltrate the Mr. Nightmare network and we, propagate and we lie and people think about it, right? They're gonna hear these stories and people are like, damn, Bic lighter, what the hell? I want to hear more stories about Bic lighters. They're gonna look us up, hear us making fun of him, and then we'll take his 8 million subscribers.
That's genius, dude. You think we need to have like cool names like him to really like
Yeah,
fucking make it, the
I'll be
transition work?
like you're Mr. Twinkle Toes,
I like it.
and I'm Mr. Mobile,
Okay.
like one of those things that spin around a baby.
No, I know what a mobile is. Thank you.
Yeah.
I often heard it called a mobile.
No, you know.
I've heard it both ways.
I haven't.
I've actually heard it 3 ways.
What's the third way? Mobile.
Mobile.
Did you just say that?
No, you said mobile. I've heard it 2 ways. I've heard exactly 2 ways. So you're getting close to me. It's making me a little uneasy now. Now the hairs on my neck are standing back up again. Because now I feel like you're like that guy in that video who had the sunken eyes. And had the yellowish stare with the smile. And the greasy hair. Can you fucking speak, dude?
I was letting you go for a second. You just started
When the fuck did you do that?
You started talking
That was
about
the most out of
nonsense.
character thing you've done in my entire
Oh
life.
my
That was the
God.
scariest thing that happened all night. None of those Mr. Nightmares.
I
Write
thought you
that
were
into
making.
Mr.
I kind
Nightmare.
of thought for a second. I gave you too much credit. I thought, I guess he's gonna make a point. So I guess he's circling. I guess he's circling the point of what he's saying. I didn't realize you were just trailing off because I didn't stop talking for 1 second.
Dude,
I didn't talk. I didn't spend 1 second talking. You were like, all right, I guess.
you just
I
got.
guess I'll just talk until he says something.
You just got up, tower over to me. I panically started speaking. Then you walked in. My gosh, should I piss off? Let me do a really good reference back to the video with the guy with the weird face who uses rhetoric. You're like, oh my god, can you hurry it up? That was the most. Don't ever do that again. Don't ever talk like that. That was so.
Listen, man.
It was scary as
all
shit.
right. There's 2 girls behind this bar right now who really want to jack me off, and this one girl just broke her heel, so I gotta go.
You should
Okay.
own that, dude.
I gotta go.
Hi, Chiquita. Bye, little sucker. Bye, little insect. Bye, little fly. Bye, little tiny insect. Bye, sucker.
Cooper, you all right? Cooper, you all right?
Cooper! Cooper! I slipped and hit my head on the mirror. The glass broke when my head struck it. It struck me as funny, Harry. Do you understand me? It struck me as funny.